Welcome to the Karosserie and Lackiercenter Vogel. My name is Peter Vogel, and today I would like to show you how to cold remove damaged body parts. For this we have a device from the company mycon from Bielefeld, the SplitMaster, which was developed jointly by the company mycon and the University of Paderborn. We tested this device in our company for the first time last year and have achieved extremely positive results there, and we would like to show you that today. Yes, in modern body constructions we increasingly have the so-called multi-material mix, which means that we have processed different types of steel in different hardnesses, i.e. normal steel, high-strength steel, higher-strength steel, ultra-high-strength steel, and aluminium in combination. These connections are then not welded as is traditional, because different materials are difficult to connect with one another by means of welding. For this reason, gluing and riveting are becoming more and more common. That's how we have it here on this vehicle. Here we have an end plate, which was made of aluminium. The corner plate or gusset plate is also made of aluminium, and the parts above it, which is yellow here, are made of steel. In body production and series production, these parts are now e.g. glued in this area and joined together with rivets. Here we already removed the rivets, the glue is still included. To date we have removed these adhesive bonds by applying heat. The structure of the bodywork adhesive, the epoxy resin adhesive in question, is so severely weakened that a connection is no longer guaranteed, and then these adhesive connections are separated accordingly with mechanical action. The disadvantage of dissipating heat is that this adhesive structure is damaged and weakened in the long term and then does not have the appropriate strength again after getting back to normal temperature. With cold debonding, we have the advantage that we cool the bond down to minus 50 degrees Celsius, thereby getting into the glass breakage area, into the embrittlement, that the adhesive is broken by slight mechanical action where the parts must be exchanged and removed. If room temperature is then reached again in the existing adhesive connections, i.e. in the transition areas, and in the underlying adhesive layers, the adhesive connection is 100% guaranteed again. This also has been confirmed by the University of Paderborn in corresponding laboratory tests. Thus, cold removal has clear advantages. Firstly, in terms of the quality of the work and in terms of the working speed. We are much faster and much more precise in the relevant areas thanks to cold removal. There is also the fact that, e.g. if I debond with heat, the material, i.e. the metal sheets, regardless of whether it is aluminium or steel, become correspondingly softer due to the heat effect. And then when the part is removed, these may be slightly deformed and must be reshaped before the new part can be used. With cold removal I have exactly the opposite effect. Namely, because the parts also get colder, they become even more stable and firm, and are definitely not deformed as a result. I then save this work accordingly during this repair. As just described, announced, the end plate has been dismantled, has been removed. We have completely removed it. You can still clearly see the violet epoxy resin seam, which we supercooled completely, which then became brittle and was then separated accordingly. Exactly the same here in the edge area. You can also see it here, the areas in the transition are all solid and undamaged. As I said, this has the advantage that the structure as a whole is still intact, and when the new part is installed, everything is exactly as it was before, as it should be. In particular, it must be said that the palatal seams here are undamaged, precisely because everything was removed cold and have not been deformed, which of course serves to protect the structure overall, and is therefore also presented in a correspondingly positive manner in terms of repair quality. That's it. For all brands, for all cases, Vogel does it.